Hi friends, now today I have the honor of introducing to you Dr. Mohit Gandhi. He is a rank 16 JIPMER May 2019 this year, which is an awesome performance. And I also want to add here that when I was talking to him, he told me that by the end of the NEET last year he had a rank of 11,000. He wanted to go for the central institutes. He worked very hard, and he converted that 11,000 into a rank 16. Reason I'm telling it upfront is because so that the students or the future aspirants listening to us can derive some motivation that it is possible to reach to central institutes. It is possible to do that if you put in a good hard work. So I thought I should mention it upfront. He joined us for his regular course in DAMS Delhi in Gautam Nagar Center in
Yes,
2018, and then he followed it up with a test and discussion in 2019 for especially for mid-year exams. So Mohit, how are you feeling today?
very nice. Relieved. I feel very happy.
So were you expecting such a rank, or was it like a pleasant surprise?
It was a shock. I was like, all my friends and my family, they were very happy, and I was like still working on believing it. So it was a blessing.
Yeah. And it is always a good thing to get to the central institutes. I believe that these are the topmost institutes in the country, the AIMS, PJ, Chandigarh, JIPMER. So it is like a unique opportunity to learn from the best in the country. Yeah. So tell me, Mohit, about when you came to NAMS for the first time for the regular program in 2018. What was your experience?
It was very nice. Like the best part I liked about it was that there is a whole ecosystem that you get, so that even if you're studying in your room alone, it doesn't really get monotonous, because like there is so many there. You have some doubt, you can look it up on the club. You have some, like, you get bored of reading, you can watch some video. So same content is coming to you from so many different ways. It keeps things fresh. So that was very nice.
In DAMS, we work on a system where I believe that whenever two people are communicating, the teacher and student are two people who are communicating. Sometimes there will be some gaps in the understanding of the student, despite a teacher doing his best ability. So we try to plug those gaps by different media. Like we would follow it up with a CRS. Did you utilize the comprehensive review series?
Yes, I especially for some subjects like pharmacology and micro, which I felt were weak at that time. So for those topics, I saw the talking CRS. So that was very helpful, because it helped me like clear those concepts which I like missed out in the class.
I believe that that the microbiology I've personally seen, and pharmacology, they're massive, they're beautifully done videos by the teachers on each chapter. I think they're very beautiful. And in addition to that, what was your approach in the classroom? Like when you go to a classroom, like how did you prepare yourself, or what was in the class going on? What did you do after the class?
In the class, I tried to come like 1 hour early, so I would get the front seats, because it makes a lot of difference if you can really see the teacher and you're like making notes and everything. And after the class, my goal was that within 2 days of the class, I have to revise whatever was taught, and because otherwise it evaporates. So yeah, and like whatever notes I would miss, I would copy them from someone else, but I would make sure that it's complete, so that I don't have a problem later.
And I agree with you that it is important to make notes in the class. That is important, but it is even more important to read them i- immediately after the class, or maybe in a day. But don't delay it too much, because then what happens is you start forgetting what the teacher actually meant. Because when the teachers are saying something, they sometimes would tell this is very important. So when you are reading it on the same day, you remember, okay, sir was saying important. You might put a star there, and the notes become more high yielding for later on. Yes. And in addition to that, did you also use the test series that we conduct,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
grand
I
test?
I gave all the grand tests. I started giving them around April, and especially I gave that to watch Deepak Arora sir's video, because he would really motivate you. After the video, he would be like, "Okay, now this is May, so this is what you're going to face. This is what you need to do." That I would like wait for it. Like every month, I would wait for that video to come out. So I gave it very regularly.
And then we revised everything with you in the DBT session. How was the experience?
That was very good,
Where
especially
where did you attend it?
in the stadium.
Stadium, Calcutta. How was the experience?
It was very nice, especially a pharmacology session and microbiology, obs gynae. It was very nice, very helpful also in the end to just look through the topics very fast.
And then did you appear for the computer-based tests that we have conducted
Yeah,
last year
all
also,
the
this year also?
CBTs. Yes, sir.
And were you surprised or happy to see that, this year before the aims we could do a CBT simulating the new pattern?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
It was like it took the fear out of like facing the different kind of questions. Like once you've done it, so you can realize that okay, this is the mistake that I'm making. So it's very important to build that exam skill also, as compared to someone who's facing those kinds of questions for the first time. It was a huge, like it gave me an edge.
And what about the AIMS TND? Like, what made you decide to join the AIMS TND? You had a NEET rank of
Because
11,000, and then
I was targeting the Central Institute exams, so that was like that fit into the schedule perfectly. And like I asked around, and I was told that those tests are different from the NEET TND. And I had already completed my syllabus, so I thought 1 week per subject, that is very like it should be manageable. So I joined the AIMS TND. It was like there were questions which came directly out of the AIMS TND questions, so that was very helpful.
And I also wanted to know from you, like when you joined AIMS TND, that must be January, and then the NEET result came, and in the NEET you had a rank of 11,000. Did that shake your belief that you can be in top 50 or not? Like, how did you manage that? Because many students come to me with this question, sir, am I good enough?
That self-doubt is there, that is there only until you do it. That challenge seems big, but once you do it, that becomes your new baseline. So that is there, that was there also. But like I was like, I don't have any other option, because I gave NEET, I knew how I had done. So I knew, like I saw your video also on Facebook. You said that keep going, don't stop, otherwise your flow will break. So I kept going, and it happened for me
And
now.
I want to repeat it here because it is very important for central exams which happen in mid-year. What happens is many people give January NEET. There is a strong urge to start enjoying now. Enough is enough. But then the problem is that that result will take 1 month to come, and those counselings will take 2-3 more months to happen. Now what happens is the central exams are in May. If somebody will wait till the counseling to decide if he has to appear for central exam, that bus is already gone. So you have to start early if you are aiming high. That is where I would believe that it's good to take a small break. That's okay, but you can't take a 3 months break and then say I want to get into the central institute. You have to start early, and that is what I like that you did it. Were there any moments in this last 6 months where you felt that okay, I'm on the right track?
Yeah, because when you give the tests, like slowly your rank starts improving. You find out what subjects you are strong in, what is your weak point, so you give a little more time on that. Then as you get to the CBTs, you do a little well in CBT, you see that rank, and you are like, okay, it is definitely possible, and there's only so much more to go, so I can really get through. That is like a very, like CBTs and mock tests, but once you do well there, then that is a huge confidence boost, especially in the last few days before the exam. So I feel that's very important to have.
What was your rank in the CBT exam?
AIM CBT, it was 56.
That I think that kind of gave that
Yes,
fire.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And I very want to tell everybody that what he's saying is textbook. This is what you need to do. When you are making a comeback, you will have some places where your confidence will go down. At those times, you need to test yourself, put yourself to test, do good in those tests, so that you get your confidence back. When you get your confidence back, you are able to push harder. Otherwise, what happens is there is a feeling of hopelessness, and you are not pushing good enough. You don't win, and then the vicious cycle continues. To break that vicious cycle, you need to accumulate victories. And I think he did that. With every test going good,
Yes.
the confidence came back.
Yes.
And then with the CBT showing a top 100 rank,
Yes.
he felt that he's on the roll.
Yes.
And then but now that everything is he's already done it. It sounds easy, but it is not so easy. But then he pressed the pedal. And did you utilize the last minute revision AIMS capsule video course that we
Yes,
uploaded
yes.
on the app?
That was basically a gold mine. There were so many questions that came directly out of it, and like when you've read something, you like put your trust in a teacher, and the exact same thing you see in the middle of the exam, that time it boosts your confidence, really gives you a boost, and that is very helpful in those 3 hours. Because if your confidence will go down, then that will harm you really bad. Yep.
Now that you've given so many papers, like you've given the NEET exam, mid-year exams, last year exams, do you feel that, the way the medical education is delivered at DAMS, where the learning, where we work on concepts, do you think that is appropriate for all exams?
Yeah, definitely. It's appropriate because there are so many different like you're getting the same content in, it's not boring. It keeps things interesting. That's why it's very good. Then everything is happening like at an appropriate time. Or you will get the updates at the end when you need it, and not like 6 months before. So that way it's very well organized, I feel.
Did you also use the previous papers discussion
Yeah,
courses that we have
all of
on
them.
the e-medicos?
All of them. I saw all of them. Like AIMS papers, I did multiple times, and once I did it in the beginning, whatever was there at that time, and then at the end also I did that again. I saw all the videos. The psychiatry, there were direct questions that came directly repeat out of those videos, so I was very happy about it.
I believe that anybody who's preparing from the beginning, if he's totally raw, he should start his preparation from the classes, make notes, learn by going to the classroom, sit in the classroom, learn in that active environment, make notes. Then anything he feels he's still weak at, he should utilize talking CRS. Then I believe we should do a question bank DQB or a CRS MCQ. At the last year there was CRS MCQ. Now we have launched a DQB. Then do put yourself to tests. Then put yourselves to computer-based simulated environment test. In between, people should look at the previous year papers, which is very, very important, and do revisions whenever we upload them. I believe that sometimes people miss out on them because they're busy doing something else. Like we put up a AIMS capsule, like it is like 25 hours, I think, and some people were busy doing their own thing. So they said that this is too long. Let me do this. But if teachers are revising in a set hours, they will put much more information into those hours than you can put in those 20 hours. So that kind of balancing needs to be done. I believe once somebody does that, it is a good opportunity to push harder. But at the end of the day, it is about your confidence, your hard work, and your perseverance. I'm and you put it all. And you had put it all. You put hard work. You put you persisted. You had that self faith. I think all of them has worked in your favor. Now, may I ask you now? When I'm talking to you today, you gave JIPMER, and I think it was one of the toughest exam, I believe, in the recent last 2 years exams, if we look at it now. So how did you react in the day of the exam? How many did you attempt?
I attempted 214 questions, but what they do is, like, I saw a video where Ranjit sir told us, he was like, they will try to break you. After every 40, 30, 40, 50 questions, they'll give you 7-8 questions which probably nobody would be able to answer. But then after giving so many tests, you get used to it. Like, that shock doesn't really hit you ki, oh, this paper is void now, I don't know 8 questions. You are used to it. You know that you have to finish the paper anyway. So that way, like, it, after practicing so many papers, it didn't really hit me that hard. I was like, chalo, let's move on to the next question.
Did you enjoy the challenge actually that the exam threw at you?
Yeah. At that time,
It
you are in a mode of stress, so you don't really. But then
But later on, and especially after doing so well,
Yeah.
now you're like, okay, bring it on. Yeah. Maybe at this point, what I believe is that what you have done in the last year and a half now will change you as a person also, because now you have seen ups and downs. You've seen the ability, you've seen how much you can rise. I think thereafter there should be no stopping. And can you guide future aspirant about any JIPMER questions that or maybe any topics that you feel they should stress on in the next future exams?
I feel like genes are very important, and pathology, the neoplasia mop-up and the neoplasia chapter, the whole concept is very important, and congenital heart disease is very important, and parasite is important. So basically they'll ask questions from everywhere. Like, there will be rare questions also, there will be very simple questions also, but then in total the paper is pretty much the same. Only like the difficult questions could be more sometimes. it's pretty much the same.
And
every
second prof predominance is there, I think.
Yes,
Second prof
yes.
predominance is there in this paper. Like, when I talk to students, I feel that this time, they are all talking more about genetics, microbiology, pharmacology. So I feel second prof
Yes.
predominance
Yes,
is
yes,
a new
definitely.
theme in this exam, I think. So that will give good insight to people preparing for future JIPMER exams. And can you compare, although although the AIMS exam is yet to finish, but can you compare the exams for us? Like, what is the difference between a AIMS exam, JIPMER exam, and PGI exam for future aspirants?
AIMS exam, basically AIMS will ask you tricky questions. Most of the paper is that the same, only like there will be few very rare questions, there will be basic questions, there will be expected topics, there will be direct repeats from previous year papers also, every time there will be. And they will like ask you tricky questions, like in one there will be one word or one something that will change the answer in the end. So basically, you when you read the options, if you don't know about each and every option, you will try to solve it logically and you will come at the wrong answer, because that's what they were planning to do to you.
Yeah.
So and JIPMER is more of theoretical
Factual.
and core concepts.
Yeah.
Options are not as twisted
Yeah.
as AIMS, but the core concept has to be there to understand the question. And PGI is completely theoretical. PGI is completely theoretical.
And one of the reasons is that PGI being a paper-based test, so the visuals are not there,
Yes.
and the theory question, more than one answer correct, full of true, false,
Yes.
true, false,
Yes.
true, false, true,
Yes,
false,
sir.
true,
Yes,
false.
sir.
They kind of, every time I talk to students who've done a PGI exam, I feel, the entire MBBS runs through in front of their eyes once. 1250 choices, kind of, they test everything.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And I also want you to now tell us about, like, imagine somebody else in your position, listening to you right now. He has a fairly okay rank in NEET, or he doesn't know that can I do it, or maybe he's not been able to do so far in the central exam also well, but he's targeting the November exams. How to manage the mindset?
um Mindset, like every time when you feel self doubt, like every time you will come back to that one single thing, that why do you want to do it. So if that reason is compelling enough for you, then you'll always pull yourself back up and you'll get back in the game again. You will like it happens like sometimes, like every day it happens in a week. Sometimes there's a bad week, but then you have to use that time, you have to work every day. So if you can come back and like you can make it.
Now, this is something which is very profound that he's brought up. There is something called as why. You have to remember there has to be your why. If there is no why, you're just running for the sake of running, you're just running because everybody is running without a why, you will not get the drive. So, there has to be a why somewhere. You have to build up your own whys gradually. And then that answer that you have in the back of your mind gives the energy to your soul to, to push harder. That is how high achievers are made up of. So I believe, he's, although young at age, but he's learned a lot. I think in the last 1.5 years, he's learned a lot. And that why is the key. So, if you are now, in a state that you've not done so well in any of the exams so far, you're targeting the next 6 months, keep telling yourself, why did you start in the first place? Why did you why did you come to the medical profession in the first place? What was your why and what is your why right now? Keep answering that, and that will give you the fire. And at this moment, I think, I would also want you to, maybe thank some people in your life. You want to thank them?
I want to thank my friends who've been there for me in this challenging time, and my family. I have got a lot of support, and I feel like I'm very lucky, because if you want to get anywhere in life, it's very important to have that kind of support where you can, even if you want to whine about a few things, you can whine about it to somebody. That is very important, and I'm very glad that I've had it.
Yeah. And any particular teachers who come to your mind today?
Sorry,
It's been a 1.5 hour
I've
year
seen
journey.
so many of your videos when I felt like कि अब नहीं हो रहा है मुझसे, and I would see a couple of videos on YouTube. I would like नहीं हो जाएगा. Then Deepti ma'am was very inspiring. Her notes were very nice. Her AIMS capsule video was like, it was relatable to every exam. I saw it before every exam. And Dr. Deepak Arora is very, very inspiring. He and Dr. Siddharth Mishra is he was very, like, his classes were very nice. And yeah.
When teachers, hear their own name when you speak, today they also feel validated. like our team of teachers, they are very hardworking individuals. You might have seen them in this 1.5 year journey. Each one of them puts in the maximum they can, and they kind of burn a lot of family time also towards the students. They kind of answer everything in the club.
Yes,
They talk,
yes.
they discuss. So it's like an extended family that we have created over the
Yes.
years, and we are very, very proud of your achievement. We are very, very proud of your comeback. We are very proud of your spirit, that you continued forward after 11,000 rank. People might have told you that you may not be able to do central exams. You ignored them. You kept going on. You accumulated victories. You peaked at the right time. You kept testing yourself, which is very important. You gave tests. You gave CBTs. You got a 56 rank in the AIM CBT in the April.
Yes.
You told yourself this is possible, whatever
Yes.
people may tell.
Yes.
You continued. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. You've
Thank
done so well. Mohit, I think your interview would be a very, very motivating interview for future aspirants. And I think, that is the gist of it. You need to have a why, you need to persist, you need to ignore people, you need to have family and friends to fall back on. That is what he did. I'm really, really proud of you. I again congratulate you on behalf of the entire DAMS
Thank you.
family. Heartiest, heartiest congratulations. God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.